Hello everyone, KVR here. Today we're going to be doing a CC tutorial in Blender because my tutorial that I made about 9 months ago now is definitely outdated and a lot worse. So I did make another tutorial, but I just didn't upload it. It was an advanced SketchUp one, but I didn't really want to, I'll be honest. But yeah, so in this video we're going to be doing some basic stuff. Like last time, it's going to be in a multi-part series. So first of all, Blender. We're going to need Blender 3.6 so that we can use one of the add-ons. But yeah, so you open up Blender, preferably like pin to taskbar, and then just put in your settings, just click on where it says general file type, and here you go, this is what you get. So you want to just delete all this. Now you want to go to edit, then preferences, add-ons, and now you want to download Blender MKW utils and UV squares. Then just restart, and now just press N, and you should see here MKW utils. So first of all, where it says view, we're going to make the end, we're going to add 2 zeros onto it, and here we go. So first of all, we're going to learn a few hotkeys. So we're going to go Shift A and then add plane, and you can use this little thing up here to swap grids, and then if you click tab you can go in and out of edit mode, which is going to be quite crucial. But yeah, so we are going to go, oh yeah, also it's G to grab, S to scale, and also here you can select vertices, edges, faces, E to extrude, and then if you shift right click, that's your 3D cursor, and we'll need it. But yeah, so those are just the basic things. But yeah, so what we're going to do here is we're gonna go to face mode, click on this, we're going to right click and click on subdivide, we're going to click on it, or actually no, if you just click on it here, go to this little thing in the bottom left, and then you just slide it to 4, actually no, to 5. And now this thing up here, I'd recommend you just click that arrow, click on statistics, so you can see your statistics of the track. Now basically these numbers are going to be quite important. If like edges or something, if they're around 30,000 and about 25,000, then the track may lag. So I would recommend trying to optimize your model as much as possible. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to select some of these points, and we're just going to drag down. Obviously we're not going to do that much, but we'll add like 2 zeros to this. Control C, and you won't be able to see it goes down a very slight amount, and then we'll just do that again, just so it gives the road a little bit of a curve. And then we'll select everything, S and Z to scale on to scale up the Z or Z value, and there you go. And also it's F to fill, which we'll get onto later. So now you have a plane, hopefully, that is slightly raised and is subdivided. So we're going to snap to to Z, and we select all of these. Instead of having to manually select them all, you can just, Blender's smart, so you can just go like that. But yeah, so if you want to select multiple things, so I'm a bit sick. If you want to select multiple things, you need to hold Shift. But yeah, so we'll just do that. Oh, I accidentally did Control right click, but that's not what we're doing. So we're going to extrude. Now, if you click on the scroll wheel, then you can snap to any which way. If that's what you'd like. And now, extrude again. Example. And now we're going to do a turn. Instead of extruding that, what we're going to do is we're going to oh yeah, it's also R to rotate. If we're rotating, it's often you press Z, so you rotate over that way. But yeah, so we're going to right click, we're going to shift right click on the side that we want. So if you want to make a left turn, then you'd shift right click roughly there. If you want a right turn, then you do it about there. I'm going to do a left turn. So you don't need it to be extremely accurate, but close enough. Now you're going to click here on the spin. Make sure you've selected all them edges, and now you're just going to drag it along. Where it says steps, make it about like within like 12 to 15, because if you make it like 2, then it just doesn't look as smooth. So the more you do, the smoother, but it will potentially, or it will impact how well your track's going to run. But as long as it's not too much. Obviously, you probably want more steps if you're doing more of a degree, but yeah. So now you want to push it out. Sometimes that happens and it messes up, so you just want to try the other way, and then you should get a nice looking turn. And you can always, you know, make it curve slightly different. You can always like move it down so it curves in a different way and stuff, but yeah. And now you just go back to the select box, and then we extrude again. And this time, I want to make a little ramp. So, I'm going to press F to fill. And as you can see, you'll be able to see the difference in the curve. There's like a very slight difference. So, I'm going to move that along the x-axis. So it's just and also the y-axis a little. So just so it's a little more steep. And now I'm just going to quickly select that again. And then we extrude past what we actually want, and then all these can just, you press the delete key or delete faces, and there you go. So now we snap back to the top, and yeah, so we'll just do this again. And yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit of a time lapse for this basic modelling, as I've kind of explained the main stuff that I'm going to do. So when we get to the end here, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to select both the edges, and we're going to click F to fill in the gap. And if it's wrong, you can always just subdivide. And this time, which is what we're going to be actually doing, is we're going to select vertices now, which is this little point. And this means that it's just a slightly easier way of looking at geometry in Blender. So basically, you're just going to want to tinker a little bit with like the way that everything is. If you don't like it that much, you can always just revert, but don't delete vertices, because if I like delete the vertices on this, then all of the others get deleted. But yeah, so this is a bit of a conundrum, this. So this is the track. Just real quick, in the statistics, you want to just click on face orientation. So this right here is flip. So we're going to select faces, and we're just going to select all of them that we can see, and then I've selected edges. And then you want to click Alt N, then flip, and boom. And I'm just going to give this track a name. So on our toolbar, we're just going to click on, actually no, we'll do that later. So what we can do to make stuff like off-road is we can select edges. Like here, I'm going to just make a quick off-road example. You can also subdivide edges, just so like, say if I filled the gap in it, it wouldn't be like filling that, it would be more streamlined. But yeah, so that's like, for example, if I made some off-road here, which I'm going to do. We just go F, then boom. That is good to me. And then here you can just select vertices, and you can select them. So what I'm going to do here basically is I'm going to select the outermost ones. I'm going to move them up a little bit, just because it looks a little nicer. I am also going to have to make some fences, because there is some pretty easy shortcut opportunity. But yeah, so basically just tinker around with that sort of stuff for a little bit, and then eventually you'll get what you want. So we'll do mainly off-road, but I'll show you some rails real quick, which is what this section's going to have a bunch of, because it being a loop, there is going to have to be cars everywhere. So you just select all the edges on the outside, and now you're going to extrude them, but you're going to extrude them up, and then boom. And just check your face orientation. Yep, they're all the right way. And yeah, so now you have 100% certainty that no one can cut across there, for example, which is good. Actually, I might move it up ever so slightly. There we go. And yeah, so now is your time to experiment. So just pause the video for a little bit, try some stuff out, and then play again when you're ready to go on to the next step. Okay, welcome back. So now we have a track layout. So what now? Now there's a few options, but I'll go with the easy one first because it's basically what every track should have. Oh, actually, one sec. I'm just gonna make this platform a little out because I don't think it fits very nicely. And I'm also just gonna make a real quick railing. Okay, so just move your track up a bit because it's most likely, if you're under the grid, then that means that it's not good because the full boundary, there's an invisible full boundary in Mario Kart Wii in case you randomly clip out of bounds. It's about Y0 on most tracks. So you just want to grab, move up a little bit, and now I'm going to add some water at the bottom because I feel like being a little cheap instead of developing some nice off-road thing. So this is in more like the RYF style compared to last track tutorial where it was more like a track where you had a lot of off-road opportunities. Here you don't have as many, but it's still going to be more fun because I actually know the scaling correctly now. And I also kind of forgot to say the scaling in the original tutorial, which out of all things I could have said incorrectly, that is probably the worst. But yeah, so first of all we're gonna select our road, and then we're gonna select the water, and go into your toolbar, go into item, where it says dimensions, where it says Y. What you want to do is you want to scale it up quite a lot. Basically, if you're going for like a short track, you want your Y to be about low to mid 600s. If you want a big track, 700. If you want a medium track, about 640. But yeah, so now we have all this. Let me just check how close we are to. Oh yeah, we're fine. It's like 1,000 units full. Actually, I'm just gonna move this up a little bit. Okay, so that looks good. Looks pretty good to me. So now, we're actually going to do textures because we have the time in this video. So if you've seen the old one and know about exporting textures, then cool. But I did also make a Google Drive link, and there's also this Jasper's texture collection, which is just literally just packed full of everything. Like, for example, I can have this texture just at my free will if I really wanted to. Like, I can just have these textures in because who wouldn't want them? Yes, the answer on who wouldn't want them? Me. So yeah. So just go into your texture folder. I'd recommend just getting one big one, and then what you want to do is you want to obviously get the textures from the track that you want. Right now for the water, we're going to use basically any water one that you can see. Like, I'm just going to take EF Wave 1P MIP, even though this isn't going to be the final water that we use. It's just as a guideline. So unlike SketchUp, you actually have to move your PNG into the folder, and then you want to click on this, which is materials, click on new, base color, click on that, make it an image texture, open, and then this, and you may be like, Sonic, why can't I see anything? That's because you need to click this and you start to see something. So what you want to do is you want to click tab to go into edit mode, and you want to select faces. I'll just give you guys a sec to catch up. Now, and then unwrap. So now, there you go, we've got water. But this texture's way too upscaled. So we're going to go to the UV editing tab. We're just going to drag this, click this, because it will help our real-time view. And now we're going to select these vertices, and we're just going to scale up until we think that the water size is just right. I think maybe we'll make it a little bigger, and there you go. In fact, I thought, why not just with the edges up a little bit. Obviously subdivide first, and then just move it up a bit. Sure. And now, yeah, so now we have our road. Obviously, it depends now which stuff you want to use. I'm going to go with a Cubic Cape style track. The last KC track style I made was not good, so I hope that this ends up better. Let me just turn on the preview. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need most likely this. Gonna need this. Why has that got drawing on it? Probably this. And then we need arrow grad. And if you want a half pipe, do arrow SHMR, which I'm gonna put one in just so you guys can actually see it. So we're gonna add a new material, base color, image texture, open, and then we're gonna pick what we want the road to be. And usually this happens. It texture maps perfectly first try, but it's very apparent on this texture. Everything is infinitely stretched. So if you're okay with this, then do what you do. If you really want it, then just deal with it, I guess. But for many people, it's logical to instead texture map, which we're going to get onto probably in the next video, because this takes quite a bit of time to do texture mapping. So I'm just going to do the more basic things first. So like in KC, I'm going to have it so you can actually drift through the dirt, but you can't drift through the off-road. But you don't really need to texture map this, just click U to unwrap and just maybe make it, maybe make these points a little bigger, and that looks fine to me. So I'm thinking of actually putting a half pipe down here. Now you don't want it too high, or else it gets kind of weird. So you just want like the perfect height. And then we're going to go get arrow S Sherma. And then just gonna assign, just unwrap, and here we actually do need to do a little bit of texture mapping, but nothing too serious, which is why I'm going to include it. So we need to rotate 45 degrees, and now just make it this size. But as you can see, the arrow on a regular half pipe goes up, and these arrows in fact are not going up, which means that we need to rotate it twice, and there you go. But you can see there's a lot of arrows, and one half arrow means there's got to be another half. So we're going to take the Y and scale it down quite a bit. It will look slightly strange, but remember, it's only half of the arrow that you're seeing, so it actually doesn't look too bad. And then we've also got to put the ramp texture in, which shouldn't be too hard. And also, the reason we're using the arrow is because it really helps with adding animations later. And I did make a video on it, but it'd be a bit easier if I made it just a little concise, you know. Basically, just if I've summed it down. Like 1v5 then. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely just gonna make it really small, but scale that up a little bit, because it's awkward because I made the ramp so small. And that's fine though. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick time lapse of just doing this. And also another thing I'm going to do, just so I can add some tech to my tracks, I'm going to add some boost panels in here, just so it's a little bit better for players. Something that some CTGP tracks are missing. Actually no, here if you just press N you can see UV squares. Just click snap to axis so it goes like all nice and it goes into one, instead of messing around with scaling. That's the first thing that we're going to do in UV squares. It's definitely not going to be the last. Two, and now let's turn that round. Did you know that was right? No, it wasn't. Oh wait, no, yeah, it is. It's just the way I'm looking at it. Alright, there we go. That's one. I'm just going to add a few more. And I think that's good right now. So yeah, now we're gonna make fence textures. So it's this one. I'm just gonna select all the fence things here. There's quite a few faces with fences, but it's my fault as I made it like that. Now, technically that does mean that I have made my job slightly easier because of the fact that I don't have to I don't have to make full boundaries, but I would say that's true. I don't really care much. I forgot to assign that. And now I'm just gonna have to zoom in on that a little more. Then point's perfectly correct. And now it's clearly upside down, so I'm going to have to quickly fix that in a sec. And boom. So now we have one side done, and now let's just do the other side. Yeah, so this tutorial, I'm just going to talk instead of speeding this up. This tutorial's quite a bit more advanced than the SketchUp one, because obviously my track skills have changed a lot. For better. So this track is going to be way more polished and stuff. There's some stuff that I would let slide back then, which I'm not settling for now. Yep, back to unwrapping. But yeah, I'll speed up this part now. Now just like 2 more things to do. Unwrap them, and boom. So we're gonna leave it off here for the first episode, and yeah, stay tuned in for episode 2, which will hopefully be coming out not too long after this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this basic tutorial, and yeah, so we'll get to texture mapping the road and potentially exporting stuff next episode. It's not going to be as many episodes as last time. But yeah, anyways, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.